A broken dream is your mind. All the scars that's leaving behind. We light the world up now. Let us fire in your eyes. To the darkness, into the night.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another Fuse tutorial. In this video we're going to be developing the design we made in the last video. If you didn't check it out, I really recommend you check it out and see how we came up with this design and the animation, so that it's easier for you to develop it with me. So first of all, this is what we end up with in the last video. So now what we want to do is we want to start developing. This is all the assets we have, and this is all the assets we need. In this video we're going to be using Framer for to develop this website. Framer is a no-code tool that it's easier for designers to develop websites with. So this is Framer. This is what you see is the UI. Let's get started. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we grab some assets, put them here so that it's easier for us to work with the projects later. Okay, the first thing we want to do is the width here is 1440 by 1024, and the width here in Framer it's 1200. So what we want to do is we want to make it 1440 and 1020 by 1024. Okay, now we're good to go. So now we have the exact same size that we have on Figma. Now what we want to do is we want to go to Figma here, and let's get started first of all by grabbing all these colors. So what we want to do is copy all of these hex codes, 1 2 3 4 and 5. Then we want to go back to Framer, and we're going to go here to fill and start adding styles. So let's copy, let's come up with first color, hit enter. This is the peach one. So let's add, we click on this plus button so that we save it as a style. Let's type in orange. Okay, good. So let's go to color number 2, which is green for apples. Let's go green. Okay, then what we want to do is also we want to bring in the text. So we want to go from pages to layers to assets, and then what we want to do is let's just remove this. Yes, and let's remove this as well. Delete. Great. So now let's start with style. Let's start with link text. So let's start with heading 1, which is the peach. So let's go back here and see what we have here. Okay, let's grab it from here. So it's Montserrat. The font is Montserrat, and it's bold, and it's 60 pixels with 70 pixels also line height, and 20%, or I would say 14% would be for letter spacing. Okay, so let's go Montserrat. Here you can take a look. You can Montserrat, and then we want to keep it bold. For the color, we're going to use this white. So let's add it to the color palette as well, so that we don't have to keep looking at it later, because I usually don't like to use white, like pure white, because it might be a little bit hurtful for the eye. So what we want to do is want to go white. Okay, good. So that's the heading number 1. We want to also, for the transform, I would capitalize, because as you can see here all the letters are capitalized. So I want to say capitalize, and here there's something, there is breakpoint. So breakpoints is basically when we're designing in Figma, and when we're developing is different. So when we're designing for Figma, we're designing just for one screen, but when we're developing we must design for all screens. So we're going to add a breakpoint. So on a large screen, which is the desktop, it was going to be 60 pixels. On a medium screen, it will be around 48. On a small screen, which is a phone, let's make it 36. Okay, so let's go back to here for line. For line, let's use pixels instead of m. Okay, so let's go, here it's 70 pixel. I want to use 70 pixel. For letter, I want to use pixels here. It would say 14. I think 14 is good. We'll take a look at it later. Let's just try and see some text. Let's type in peach, and then we give it the heading 1. It doesn't look exactly, so no, it's not capitalized, it's uppercase. Yeah, exactly. It looks exactly the same. Great. Let's say peach, and then add some text here. No, green. Yeah, it looks exactly the way we want it. Great. Let's just delete this one for now, just to sure. Okay, so now what we need is I would say this is a P or a paragraph, so we're going to add Montserrat medium 21. So let's go ahead here and add a new text line and then paragraph, because you must actually add a paragraph, because this will be like the default text you will be working with. So I would say medium, and then for the color we're going to be using the same whites. Also for the transform we're going to make it capitalized so that it capitalize the first letter. We're going to add a breakpoints. Breakpoints are usually here, let's make it 21, and for M we'll leave it maybe 16, and for phone I think 12 is good. Okay, for the line letter, for the line we have 30 pixels and no letter spacing, so for the line let's make it 30 pixels. Okay, great. So now we have set up the text and we have set up the colors. Now we just want to get started. So what I want to do is give this a white background because it doesn't matter here. So what we want to do is we want to go to layers now. Since we have everything, we want to start getting assets from Figma here. So now let's just try and make this kind of like optimized for framers. Text, let's use we have to use here auto layout so that it's easier for us. So let's shift. Yeah, so here what I want to do is we want to bring this peach, and we want also to, so on framer we don't have in that much of animations options. Okay, we'll later see what I mean. So here the problem is we can't use text like this. So what we want to do is we want to make it optimize it for framers. So let's bring this like alt and drag, and what we want to do is make it really long like this, and then we want to bring in all these texts. So okay, say peach, and then let's give it 2 times, maybe 3 times, enter, and then this. Okay, 1 2 3, and then let's give it passion fruit. Okay, we'll later understand why we're doing this here. Okay, so 3, yeah, I'm gonna give it passion fruit.
How broken paper is your mind? All the scars, let's leave them behind. We'll light the world up now, let us fire in your eyes, through the darkness into the night.
So we want to resize this to make sure that it shows any text that goes, because if we make it like this, then when we wanna bring in green apple, it won't be visible, all of it. So we want to make it something like this so that we make sure it's visible even though later we do the animation. So now we want to check here clip content, and then what we want to do later, when we want to change the text, is we want to just do this. Okay, as you can see, so this is what we want to do. Okay, so that's what we have. Okay, let's call this text, let's call it h1. Okay, so it's heading, and then we're going to be doing the same for the body text as well. Okay, so we want to do it here, resize something like this, and then start adding the other text. I'll do it fast and get back to you. We have the text here, so we have 1 2 3 4. Now we want to do again the same thing. So we want to make a frame selection and then resize it to fit mostly any text. Let's put it like this because some might be a little bit larger, and then clip content. Okay, so now we have our body text. Okay, so we'll put these like this. No, let's skip. Yeah, something like this. Good. So now we have the text ready, everything is ready for the text. Then what we want to do is we want to bring in the logo and the menu. We put in everything alone so that we don't get confused there when working. So we put every element. So let's bring in this, let's bring in this, and let's bring in all of these. Okay, so let's make them a little bit bigger so that we see what we're working with. Here you go. Yeah, something like this. Let's go something, no, that's too big. Something like this. Here also the same, something like this. And dragon fruits, the same thing. We're building assets now for us to make work easier for us. Okay, so one more time, we want to also bring in the menu, but the menu will recreate it on Framer. We'll show you how, so that we make sure that it works on all breakpoints. We don't need the text now, so we're gonna just delete it, and we're going to add this button. So this button will also make it our layout so that it's copied and pasted directly in Framer, so we don't have to worry about it. So let's call this a button. All right, good. So now we have everything ready. So the button is ready, and also we'll call this up and down. Okay, no, I want to call this, yeah, let's bring them here. We want to call this up, and we want to call this down. Right, so let's give this full color. Great. So these are all the assets. Now here, as you can see, I cannot take this logo because if you remember from the last video, have locked it. So we have to unlock it from here in order to bring it from here. Great. And this ellipse is easy. We're going to recreate it later on Framer. Okay, so now that's all what we need. So what we want to do is we want to start bringing all the assets we need. So that's for all now. I think we're good. So button, logo, and yeah, fruits, cans. In this time, cans, we make sure that they are all the same size. Here we go, because there is a difference in the size a little bit. So let's take, for example, this size. Here we go, everything is ready to go. Now let's start working with Framer. So what we want to do is you need to actually go get a plugin. So you can just come in here on resources in Figma, and then go to plugins and then search for Framer, and you can see Figma to HTML with Framer. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create the menu. So first things first, let's go and create the menu. So let's type in Framer, and then when you click, it will just say that I copied your text. So now, as you can see, it copied 7 layers. Let's paste in Framer. So we go to Framer. The only thing you need to do is Control V. But before that, let's go to Insert, Navigation, and let's bring in a nav. Okay, a nav is important because a nav will be a component here, and we will be working with components all time today. Okay, so let's just put this on the canvas so that we make sure we know what we're working with. Yeah, so first of all, let's going to change the logo. It's better for logos to use SVG. So now, as you can see, we cannot see the logo because of it's white and the logo is white. Now, as you can see, we can see it. Now I just want to make it a little bit bigger, but it's, yeah, make something like this is good. Great. Even though here the nav bar is a little bit bigger, but here we have to respect what Framer is giving us because it will be reused here. So now what we have for the text, you have our flavors, our news, about us. So let's give it our flavors. All right, now we're good. So now we just need to recreate the button. So the button, we're going to remove the fill, add a border to it. So let's make it white, and we want to give it like, yeah, a width is 1 is good. We're going to remove also the shadow. We're going to maybe give it a 4 radius, and what we want to do is we want to make it a little bit bigger, as you can see here. So here, let's use for example a padding of on the right and left, let's use 24. Even more, let's use 60. Okay, 60 should do just fine. Great. And on the top and bottom, let's use 18. So now, as you can see, it's a little bit weird here on the tablet. So what we want to do is, now we're going to make this smaller. So let's give it a 16. This also a 16. Here also make the button a little bit smaller. So let's use here let's use 30. Yeah, 30 is good. 30 right and left, and 18 top and bottom. Yeah, maybe 22. Yeah, 22 is good. 30 is still a little bit much, I feel like. Maybe 24. Yeah, 24 should do just enough. Yeah, now it looks good on the tablets. For the phone, it looks perfect as well. Great. So now we're done with the menu and the navbar. So let's go back, and as you can see, just like the background, if you give it like a peach, like, yeah, it looks good. Maybe make it a little bit something like this. Yeah, for now we're going to get started developing the animation we designed, or the website. Okay, so let's create a frame. Let's just say, let's type in F and create a frame that's have the same size of the computer. Okay, yeah, so let's fill, maybe let's give it, yeah, 1440 by 1024. Great. And it has this inside of it. So now we want to do is make it orange. We want to also make the desktop go back to white. Okay, so now we want to do is we want to say that we call it like, let's call it design, because we're going to be doing everything inside of the component. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to turn this into a component. You can right click or Control Alt K, but let's create a component, leave it as design, and now we're going to start working with the assets. Okay, so now let's bring in all the assets and put them on the canvas. Okay, so let's start with the cans, Figma to Framer, copy, and then you go here. That's the cans. We have all the cans here. Let's bring in the fruits as well. We'll make sure also they have the same width, so 705. Figma to Framer, paste. We have all the fruits we need. Great, it's coming along. And let's bring in the logo, the button. I'm not making like copying everything at once, because sometimes kind of like Framer group things together. We don't want that, so I want to like be a little bit careful with it. Okay, all right. Yeah, so now we only have these up and down buttons. Okay, let's go Figma to Framer, and yoo-hoo, it's here. So for icons, Framer will sometimes read them as vector, and they won't be able to give them like a good sizing. So we'll solve this by making going around it. So it's either you want to bring in an icon from Framer, and I don't like, sometimes I don't like their icons. So what I do is I just go ahead and delete this, and let's go to these, and let's make them a picture. So there is a plugin called bitmap, so it will make the selection from anything to a picture. Okay, now if we take them to Framer and we paste them, we can modify their positioning. Okay, if you put them here, you can modify their positioning, absolute to relative. When they are vector, they won't allow you to do this. Okay, all right, good to go. Now we have everything ready. That's all the assets. We forgot the text, so let's bring in the H1 and the P. Copy to Framer, then paste. Good. No. Oh, okay, let's bring in P. Sometimes like paste where you don't want it to be. Whatever. Here you go. Everything is good to go. Yeah, cool. So first of all, let's start putting things that we won't change. So for example, this logo, we're just going to put it here, and we're not going to change it anyway. We're going to give it an absolute positioning, and we're going to lock it one time, so we don't have to mess with it later. Great. Now let's add in the text, and for the text, let's see how much space we have. Let's say 40. Okay, 40 pixels. Okay, 81 now. So let's think now it's like, yeah, now it's 40. And we're also going to bring the body text and put it just underneath. Okay, now there is, yeah, so now something like this. Great, cool. Let's give them like a 20, maybe something like this. Yeah, now we're going to put them in a frame and give them a layout here, so kind of like they will act as our layout. Let's give them maybe, yeah, a 10, yeah, a 10 pixels gap is good. All right, now we're good to go. I have 40 pixels from the sides, and yeah, it's looking good so far. Let's call this, yeah, 40. Let's call this text so that we know what we're working with. It's better all the time to name your layers to know what's going on. Okay, let's also bring in the button, and let's put it around here. Yeah, let's put it around there. Great, we're good to go. Yeah, but before the button, there's something. We have to leave space for the, yes, we have to leave space for the other buttons as well. These, yes, yeah. So now, as you can see, they're giving them a relative positioning. So I want to give them an absolute positioning, and we want to put them in a frame. Yes, we want to put them in a frame and give them a layout. Let's give them a horizontal, and here fits content and fits content. Here it says fill. All right, here we go. No, we'll take them out of this button frame. You just got in the way. Let's position them above it. Here you go. No, may put this a little bit closer. So now we also want to lock the text because it might be just interfering our work all the time. So bring in both of these. Yeah, the columns. That's a 36. Good. I think it's good. Maybe let's give them a little bit upper. 1, 2. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so here we go. We have the button ready. Also, we're going to lock the buttons because the button we're not going to work with it. Here, we will leave these. So let's call it also slider. All right. Now we wanna put all the fruits but make them smaller. So let's take a duplicate out of this. Or maybe let's just take it as it is. We just want to remember the width and height of it. Put it and make it like this, and then put it maybe. So we just want to remember now, since we logged it to be proportional, we want us to remember that the width is 705. Okay. Let's make it maybe 40. At least we can see what's going on. Or where is it? Yeah. Maybe 18. Yeah, so at least we can see it. Also this one, since most of them have the same sizing, it will be easier for us. So let's also give this a 60. Put them on top of each other. The same here. The same thing here as well. Put it in the middle, but we leave this as it is. We put it on the middle. So what we want to do is we want to give this a z-index. So it's unlike in Figma, when you just bring it to front, but here you have to use a z-index. Let's give it maybe a 3. Yeah, so that it's above everything. Okay. Great. Now we want to bring in the can and put it just in the middle. Now I have the design. So our design is ready to go, and it's, as you can see, it's on our website. So it's a little bit irresponsive, but no, we're going to make it responsive in another video. So one thing is, maybe the logo is a little bit small. Make it bigger. It's not visible. All right, something like this. Yeah, that's it. Now I think we're good to go. Yeah, so now we want to name our variant. So let's give it peach so that we know what's going on. So here we're going, okay, so we want to make this a little bit, okay, instead of maybe doing this, so you have to make sure that all of your layers are using only, they're only looking at the top, so they only constraints using the top. Yes, top. top, only top. If you leave it top and bottom, the size will shrink. Yes. Now these slider is also good to go. Great. Now the only thing we need to do is we only want to put all the cans here. Okay, so we wanna, yes, so we don't want them to be visible, so we're gonna make them something like this and like this. Also, we want to make sure that their constraint is up. Okay, also here and top, and yes, this is the last one. Great. So let's try to give them the same. Here we go. Good to go. Now we're good to go. So I'm just gonna put this. No, this should be top, please. Top. Yes, this top. Okay. No, yeah, we're good to go. Amazing. So now what we want to do is you want to just make this as it was, 10 height 10 24. All right, now we want to add the variant, the second variant. Let's call it apple. I just like let's call this apple. Here I did not name the cans, but yeah, I should have named them, but it's okay. Okay, so I want to here, we want to change the fill to green. We want to make, let's put these in a frame so that we know what's going on. Let's just put these in a frame from the primary variant. So if you want to do something that you want it to be like done for all of them, so it's better to do it from the primary variants. So that if we go here, I will just like find fruits. Great. So what I want to do is I want to give this also as 60 and put it in the middle, and you want to look for apple and give it a 705. Exactly, that's how things should work. And for the cans, what I want to do is let's go back to primary, and we want to all we're on the apple. I want to be here. Okay, we need to actually name them, so let's go ahead now. One more time, please. Just the middle. It's messed up. I'll work on it. All of them are messed up. Okay. We'll get back to as it was, so it won't be a problem. So let's just call this, and also let's call this no. This is can. I'll name them. I'll get back. Great, here we go. So now what I've done is I've gone here and renamed every can and put them in a frame as well. But it's make sure to not add a layout so that you don't miss everything. So what we want to do now is choose all of them, and then we want to shift and up. So we want to bring this here. Great. Just like make sure the positioning is good, and we're good to go. So now for the peach. Now for the text, we're going to go to text, unlock it here, and then go to H1, and then go to text, and then also the thing. Great, here we go. Have green apple, and we're going to do the same exact thing for the paragraph. Great. So now everything is done. So now what we want to do is we want to do the same process here. So here it should be easier for you guys. So now what we want to do is also for the apple, to make it 60. Now it's like you need to remember the organization and how they were. So let's just call this passion fruits. Now we're going in there from here. Passion fruit. Good. We wanna also change the color to purple, and we want also something we forgot, the ellipse. We're going to get back to it later at the end. So we want to go to let's go to fruits, passion. It's better to have them like this. So here let's call it 705. Yes, exactly. Amazing. So now one more time, let's go to cans, choose all of them, and then shift and up. Here we go. As you can see, it's done really well. Just something that I did not maybe consider is putting this here. Yes, I just come in here on the peach and position this here. Yes, exactly. So remember, when you do something on a primary, it will be done on all of them. Okay, so here one more time, shift and up, passion fruits. Here we go. The same for the body text. Let's go from here to here. Later when animate everything, we'll see how it would work. Okay, one more time, we go to dragon fruits, change the background, change the fruits. Let's make this 60 one more time, make sure it's in the middle. Go to dragon fruit and make it 705 on the width. Position it. Let's pin on top so now we don't have a problems yet later. So here let's call it dragon fruits. Great. Let's bring in the cans one more time. Do not choose the frame like this, you choose all of these. So shift, you choose first one, the last one, and they will choose all of them. And here we go one more time. It's great. I want to do also for the text the same thing here, dragon fruit again for the body text. I think we did a mistake, we missed one text here. No, we did not. Dragon fruit and dragon fruit here. Here maybe passion fruit. Great. We're good to go. Oh, okay, yeah, we did miss the peach. Yeah, we did miss the peach one. Okay, it's not a problem, we'll solve it later. So now we have dragon fruit ready to go as well, and the last one, last but not least, the strawberry. Let's choose this red, make this 60. And as you remember guys, the strawberry had a little bit slightly different width, so let's 500, 554, 551. Let's go to strawberry and give it a 551. Here we go. Yes, exactly. Dragon fruits, fresh berry, and here we want to have this. Great, amazing. Let's call this so see, when it's variant, it's like kind of annoying, so let's call this strawberry. All right, here we go. Now everything is good to go, so let's just great, now everything is ready to go. Design is amazing. So let's here add two things. So let's add an ellipse. So let's add a frame like this. No, make it maybe 200 by 200, maybe 300, 200, maybe 260 this, and we're gonna go radius here and create 100% radius. Here we go. Now it's an ellipse. Great. So now what we want to do is it's absolute. Make sure it's absolute so that we can put it anywhere we want, and we want to go to styles and filters and blur. So here we really don't want to give it like really that much of blur, maybe 60. Yeah, 60 is good. And opacity, let's give it 0.6 as well. Yeah, that looks exactly how we want. Now as you can see, it's everywhere, so I wanna move it a little bit for all of them. Exactly. So now we want to do also is, since that we forgot the text here, we actually have to redo all the page. So if you ever face this situation, is what you do is you want to go back to Figma, because you want to do all of this work in Figma because it's better. So now let's go to P, just like, yes, let's go to P and tick clip content, and forgot this, so let's copy, and then let's go to first one, 1 2 3 4, and here we go. Now make sure that it fits here, clip content. So what I want to do here is Figma. So Figma, the problem with Figma with Frame is that it doesn't have like the option to kind of replace. So what I want to do is want to add it here, and then I want to delete this P, and yeah, now everything is the same, but here we have to go again and reposition all of them. Passion fruits, here it should be dragon fruit, and last but not least, fresh berry. Here we go. Now if you take a look at every design, it's just amazing. It looks exactly the same how it was. Okay, one more detail here. We don't want it to be, can't go upper here. So here I think it was, yeah, I want to make this 0.6 to 60%. And for the last one, here, yeah, it will happen this because it's primary. So when we changed on a page, everything changed, but we want to all give them a 1, she's 100%, but the last one, let's give it also 0.6 for the down. Okay, so now let's position them this way so that we know what's going on, and we'll come to the most important part, which is the animation. Here we go. Now it's positioned the way we want it. If we go back to desktop, it's working just great. Amazing. So let's just do one thing. So we want this to be maybe, oh, you know what, let's just leave it as it is. Okay, it's good. All right, so now we want to start animating. So what we want to do is, first of all, we want to link all of them from this button. So let's go in and link and leave it as tap. We're not going to do anything, as you can see here, because here it's just the trigger. Okay, so one more time, tap here, one more time here, tap. So I'm clicking L to link things. So here one more time, tap, and yes, here we want to go back one more time, go back, L, and just link it as easy, and yes, now it's good. Now what we want to do is we want to go to this and go to transition and switch from spring to ease, go back to Figma, and you want to go to the prototype and the interaction. We're going to, for push here, as you can see, it's linear, so we go here and make it linear. All right, and for the time we're going to make it 0.8. Is that okay? And now if we try it, as you can see, guys, it's working perfectly. It's working just perfect. Now let's just do one thing so that we don't see all of these fruits, the other fruits. So let's go for fruits, and we want to give all of these a 0 opacity, and then here we go back to apple and give everything but apple 0 opacity. Apple will give it the 1 opacity. Here same thing, fruits, all of them but passion fruits, 0 opacity, that's passion fruits, 1. Here the same stuff, all fruits but dragon fruits, 0 opacity, but dragon fruits will give it a 1 opacity. On the same thing here, all but strawberry. Here we go. Let's try it one more time. As you can see, we won't see the other effects. Okay, now it's working just perfectly. Oh, we did not change the can here. Alright. See, you forgot. Let's go, and here we go. Now it looks just perfect. Let's put these buttons around where we can see. Alright. Let's put the slider. This button. Let's put them in a frame actually. Layout. Let's give them a 40 spacing on here, and what I want to do is choose this and put it here. No. Exactly. So we want this to be on the viewport, and then you can see this. As you can see, guys, this is how we made this. So now let's go back and try and publish it. Here we go. Let's give it a custom domain. Let's call it Yanni Slider. This is the link where you can also take a look and try it yourself. So publish, and okay, so here as you can see there is an issue. So I want to make sure that this fills all the screen. So I want to do is come in here and set this to fill. Okay, now if we publish one more time, we do this. Here we go. It's working perfectly fine on the screen. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope this was helpful. Let me know. You will find all the information needed and all the free. Also put a free remix link to the project on Framer in case you want to see how we've done and what we've done. So I think that's all for today's video. Thank you so much, guys, and see you on the next tutorial.